Good morning. How are you?
Hi, honey. Yeah, very well, thank you. Very well, thank you. Lovely to hear your voice. You're coming through loud and clear.
Oh, good. Excellent.
Fantastic. Whereabouts are you in the world at the moment, honey?
I'm in Copenhagen.
Wow, wow. So I'm seeing New York on there, and I know that you were in the UK only last week, and now you're in Copenhagen. How lovely.
Yeah, I'm a lucky girl.
That's absolutely wonderful. Great stuff. What's the weather like in Copenhagen? Is it nice?
Oh, it's gray and rainy today, but it was gray and rainy yesterday morning as well. And as soon as we got on our bikes, the sun came out.
Wonderful.
So I'm hoping the same thing will happen today because we have a long session and uh, you know, the mode of transportation here is a bicycle. So
Absolutely. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Fantastic. Do you mind if I start asking you a few questions? Is that okay?
sure, go ahead.
Okay. I absolutely have to ask you about working with Roberta at the Indigo 2 last week. Some of the guys from the station were there. Unfortunately, I couldn't make it, but they said it was a wonderful show. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about it.
Oh, I've been working with Roberta for 5 years now, and I'm so honored to be in that band. Every single musician in the band is stellar, and of course she's legendary. So I've been learning so much from her, and it's a huge honor to play the O2, the Indigo. Um, it's a wonderful venue. It's London. It's very prestigious a moment in your life. It's kind of like, okay, this is really happening.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lovely venue. I did speak to Roberta just before the gig. Actually, we had an interview with her just beforehand, so that was lovely to chat with her and to know that you were there as well, which was really really good.
Yeah. I'm a
Wonderful,
lucky girl.
wonderful. We're also coming to see you. You're performing at the Bedroom Bar. I think
Yeah.
it's next week, isn't it? Next Tuesday.
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
The
but we'll
13th.
we'll be coming along to see you there, so we're
Oh,
looking forward to that.
excellent. Oh, I'm so excited to hear that. I'm glad you'll be there.
Yeah, it's a nice venue. Very very personal. Very very simple and straightforward. It's a nice venue. Yeah, I like
Wonderful.
it.
I've never been there, so I have no idea what to expect. And I've just been like on this adventure where I go play these random places and I'm learning a lot as I go, but it's been such a wonderful journey for sure.
Oh, great! What a wonderful adventure. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
great. Yeah. Well, that place is a stage and a place full of people that appreciate great music. So you're among friends.
Wonderful. It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited. I've got Matt Steele who's going to accompany me, and he's the keyboard player from the Brand New Heavies,
Mm,
which is the first band I ever toured with, and so we've got a long history together. We haven't played together for a few years, so it'll be really nice reunited night. It'll be like yay, it's just gonna be
wonderful,
lots
wonderful.
of bliss and joy.
Yeah, that's great, and loving the brand new heavies as well. And I saw that you had worked with them and quite a few other artists. Tell us about some of the artists that you've worked with.
Well, like I said, the Heavies were the first. They hired me to be the background singer for India Davenport, and I sang behind her for 4 years.
Mm,
And then when she went off to do her own project, I was actually their lead singer for 2 years, and that was a great adventure as well.
wonderful.
So they took me all around the world for 6 years, and then within that time, I also ended up meeting Macy Gray, who signed me to her record label, and I was signed to her label for 3 years.
Wonderful.
And during that time, I wrote a lot of songs for my own project and for her project. And, she really helped catapult my career a lot. And Joss Stone is also another that I've been on tour with.
Mm, wow.
Um, One of the most amazing vocalists I've ever seen in the flesh. And Laura Isibor is also one of my favorite tours that I've been on. She's an Irish soul singer
Wonderful.
on Atlantic Records who does amazing music, and she's got this gorgeous voice. And we've actually just had a writing session last week while I was in London because she's out in London with you now.
Wonderful. Oh well, that's just great. Thank you for sharing that because that's all kind of news and facts that we didn't have a full grasp of. So thank you very much indeed.
My pleasure.
Can I ask you, honey, where it sort of started with you and music? What sort of got you into music, or was it something that was always there?
my mom is a singer, and she was a single mother soul singer when I was growing up. And she didn't always have the money for a babysitter, so she would bring me with her. I was at all of her recording sessions. She was in an a cappella quartet for years, so I was at all of those rehearsals.
Wonderful.
And she'd bring me to all of her gigs even as well. Can you hold my child while I'm on stage?
That's
Really
lovely.
is something that's always been there. It's just kind of like, I didn't ever know that there was any other thing to do. This is just what we do.
Well, music grew up with you then,
Yeah,
as opposed to you growing up with music.
it's true. It's true.
Wonderful. How fantastic. That's great. And early musical memories, what were your bands and things that you remember sort of that you really sort of latched onto before you did anything with your music yourself?
Oh man, as a kid, I was a weird kid who liked a lot of grown-up music because my mom was always listening to it.
Right, that sounds
But
great.
I also did like some of the pop and fun kid music. But I remember very distinctly listening to Marvin Gaye, Anita Baker, Stevie Wonder. Those were the top three. And then, I got really heavily interested in Take Six.
Yeah, yeah, wow.
So, because I really love, my mom was in an a cappella group, and I was really into all the harmonies and the vocal arrangements and all of those complexities. I used to run around her rehearsals telling everybody they were singing the wrong notes, and
I bet they were pleased by that. Yeah.
I'm sure they loved it.
Fantastic. Well, you're not going to go wrong with Marvin and Stevie, and I mean, what a list.
Yeah, those were like, that's what we played on in the car and on the radio every day, just like at home.
Good.
And,
That's wonderful. I like your mum already.
yeah, love my mom. I love my mom. She's amazing. She's a vocal coach now, and she
Wonderful.
trains me on Skype, and she's amazing.
That's absolutely fantastic. Oh, lovely, lovely to hear. So, can you remember your first public performance?
Oh, gosh, my first public performance. Well, I guess there's a few that I would consider the first. When I was a kid, we did a lot of performances together. When I was 5, we did this telethon, and I'm from Vancouver in Canada,
Yeah.
and there was a fundraiser on the telly. So I was singing in this choir, but I was right up front because I was the youngest girl, and I was, in the front and center of this huge choir, and it was all televised, and that was my first public performance. But then, from there I went on to do lots of choir stuff, a lot of recordings. We did a children's album, and then, as a teenager, I joined a band, um, and we were playing like nightclubs. So
Sounds like fun.
yeah, so when I was about 13, we started doing those types of public performances. So I don't know which one is the first necessarily, because the telethon thing was kind of its own thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, wow. There you go. And televised and all that.
Yeah, it was like this big event, huge.
And how old were you then, do
I
you
was
think?
5. I was,
5. Oh, that's massive when you're 5.
yeah, it was very massive for me. It was this huge arena. Everything looks bigger when you're that small. So big.
Amazing, absolutely amazing. I saw your video with Omar talking about you there on your site, and
Oh, I love Omar.
to tell us about what you've been doing with Omar and music and stuff.
Omar and I have been friends for years. And gosh, when did I originally meet him? I actually met him with the Heavies because we did this really cool show at the Barbican in London. And
Wonderful.
it was like Loose Ends, Omar, the Brand New Heavies, and Incognito.
I should have been there.
Oh, yeah, it was such a great show. And the Brand New Heavies were the backing band for all of the acts.
Wonderful.
So we had these long rehearsals with all of the artists, so I got to know them all, and so Omar and I connected heavily then. But then a good friend of ours from Denmark actually He's actually kind of the reason that I'm here now. He's who I have to thank for all of my very solid relationships here in Copenhagen at the moment. But he is an incredible artist. His name is Jonas, and he sings so beautifully. And Omar and I both recognized him and connected with him separately, but he put together a tour for the three of us to headline. And we've done Scandinavia twice together. We've done Africa once. And so Omar and I have had a lot of time together on the road, and we've even recorded a song together that never got completed, and I'm hoping to finish it when I get back to London next week.
Wonderful. We'll be looking out for that.
Yeah, he's great.
Fantastic. Yeah. Well, that was really, really nice to see, and he talks very highly of you on the video there, which which is lovely. That's great. And I was just looking at your tour dates since the 25th of April. I mean, Los Angeles, Paris, Copenhagen, and then London, then Newark. I mean, you don't mess around, do you?
No, to be honest, I've been on tour nonstop for the past 8 years. But as a solo artist, like I really started, like my album came out last year,
Mm.
and it took me, well, when the album first came out, I did Brazil, I came out here, I did a European tour, last summer, and I went back to the States and kept going, but I kind of had this break because I did this television show. So for the past 6 months or the last 6 months of last year, I kind of didn't do anything. So this year, man, we've been going hard.
I can see, yeah.
Yeah, like the shows have just been like every week or every 4 or 5 days, there's another city. So it's a very interesting schedule. Most bands that tour will do like a new city every day or every 2 days.
Yes, yeah.
So I've been really lucky because I get to kind of stay in each city for a few days and enjoy the city and see my friends. And um, I think I've got it made, to be honest. Everybody else works a lot more often, but I'm just kind of spreading them out. And because you never get a vacation in this business. So, but you can get a day off here and there, and that is such a blessing.
Yeah, I was just thinking how awful it would be to have a day off in Copenhagen. That must be terrible. How do you
Oh,
cope?
just horrid. I gotta be honest. Oh man, it's just terrible. Awful.
You're not very convincing. It's not coming.
It's my favorite city in the world,
Wonderful.
I think.
It's lovely.
Of all the places I've been, it's just like the coolest place, and the people here. This is gonna sound really racy, but I always call them the blackest white people on the planet.
You're right. Very
Such a
racy, but
terrible
hey,
thing to say, but they're just such soulful people.
wonderful.
Yeah, just wonderful people. I'm so happy to be here.
That's absolutely lovely. Well. So thank you for sharing that. That's really great fun, and
I hope that doesn't come back round to me. I hope please understand it was a compliment, and yes, I don't know. Okay.
it's working good. No, that's all okay. That's all wonderful stuff. So what sort of things have you got coming up then, honey? What's sort of coming up in the year then ahead of? I mean, we know about next week, but beyond that.
It's my life just sort of unfolds one little section at a time. I know a few things that are happening later in the year, but it kind of like my agent will sort of book this month, and that's just how it's been going. I'm really excited to spend a little chunk of time in LA and just do some more writing. I've got a song on a group called The Great Big World that have just come out.
Wonderful.
And it's doing really well. So I really want to follow that song up with some new catalog. So I'm just writing and having writing sessions, and I'll be recording a bunch for the next couple of months. And then hopefully I'll be back on tour over the summer, late summer.
Wonderful. And you do such a sort of diverse sort of collection of styles, don't you? I mean, I've heard you do reggae, R&B, soul, very, very flexible across all the sort of sub-genres, if you like, of what you do. And, I love to hear that. I played on the breakfast show a reggae tune of yours the other morning, and I just, wow, I like that.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, it was actually a big problem for me in the beginning of my career because nobody knew what to do with me. They were like, you do too many things, and it was received in a negative way.
Oh,
So I've finally just, thank God it's the time of the indie artist now, and we're really able to pave our own ways, and it's okay if I'm the first artist who's doing all of the genres. I mean, Prince has pop records and soul records and reggae records and rock records, and it's okay. And people just
mm,
know that's just Prince and that's what he does. And that's basically what I'm going to need for folks to recognize with Honey too. She does a lot of things, and it's okay. Uh,
that's great, though. I
yeah.
mean, you can't, she's incredibly talented, so we're going to look at that in a negative way. No, I don't think so.
Well, it's like you can become a jack of many things, and a master at none. So, I don't want to fake the funk and pretend I'm a master at all of the genres, but I definitely like to explore and dabble and try them out. And, I think I've nailed a few of them, and some of them I still have a lot to learn, and that's okay too. It's part of the journey. And, it's just fun. I enjoy all of these genres that I perform. So there's no reason why I shouldn't be able to perform anything I enjoy. If it makes me feel good, it should make someone feel good. Even if
Absolutely.
it's just
Yeah.
one or two people.
No, far more than that, I can guarantee. But if you got it, then and you can do it, why not?
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
too many people sitting in too many boxes, and if you don't need to sit in one, then why do so? I love that. That's
Yeah.
fantastic. And it means that I can feature you in different parts of my show, so I can have a honey tune in my slice of reggae, and I can still have you in the soul section, which is
Yes,
wonderful. So
please. Have me everywhere, darling.
fantastic, that's great. So just to sort of point our listeners at your social media, places to buy your tunes, your website and so on, could you give us a little sort of rundown of all the places to find Honey on the web, so to speak?
My name is Honey Larochelle, and I'm really easy to find if you can remember my name. It's Honey, Honey. La Rochelle is a Francais word. It's Larochelle. And you can find me at honeylarochelle.com, Facebook at Honey La Rochelle, Twitter at Honey La Rochelle, Instagram, Honey La Rochelle, and SoundCloud even, Honey La Rochelle. I'm all over. If you just Google me, picture me with that face where I'm like, yes, yes, Google me, darling, Honey La Rochelle.
Oh, dear. Well, this is lovely, and it's great to interview someone and have fun and laugh and just be the people that we are. I love that, and thank you for bringing that to today's interview, because
My pleasure.
it's a real pleasure. So, is there anything else you'd like to say to the listeners of Sound Fusion Radio? We are global, but we are based in South London. So, if there's anything you'd like to say, then please feel free
Well,
today.
big shout out to all of the soul supporters, because soul music is such a beautiful genre, and it gets such a lesser amount of love than some genres that don't require as much studying, effort, talent. And so anybody who's actually supporting an indie artist, and that means actually buying their album, sharing their links, spreading the word about it, I really just want to thank you, because you're the whole reason that a lot of us are able to survive out here in this dog eat dog world, where we have this gift and we don't even know why, and we can't even get rid of it. It's like we don't have anything else we can do. So you're keeping our industry alive, and I appreciate you from the bottom of my heart.
That's wonderful. Thank you for that, honey. And your album, of course, can be purchased on iTunes and Amazon. And tell us about where we can go buy that.
Yep, my album, The Yes Feeling, is available everywhere. iTunes, Amazon, and all of the other places you can buy a record online. But I think those two are the most sure shot ways. And of course, those links are on my website at honeylarochelle.com.
Wonderful. That's absolutely great. Well, honey, thank you very much for your time today. Had an absolutely wonderful interview and a real pleasure and great fun to talk to you. Thank you so
Thanks,
much.
DJ Glass. It's really nice to hear your lovely voice with your lovely accent as well.
Oh well, thank you very much. That's I'm blushing now.
Yeah, you have a lovely voice, and I'm looking forward to meeting you next Tuesday.
Wonderful. Look forward to meeting you. You take care and have a wonderful time in Copenhagen, and
Thanks a
we'll
lot.
see you soon.
All right, we'll see you then.
Take care.
Ciao.
Thank you. Bye.